your captain this morning, number 51, Slaughterhouse. Getting underway here very shortly, literally less than a minute.
There's a skater missing from my TXRD list. There's also Skeletina, number 1012, out there skating for Texas. And that whistle indicates the beginning of our second bout of our second day of Chingadera.
Starting things off, jamming for Texas, number 616, Scapegoat. And for
number 425, Legs Get 'em, your co-captain for TTRB. Ooh, Scapegoat taken down hard in the back by Elaphobia, with Legs Get 'em, your co-captain, out lead for TTRB, running along the high side there to make it out.
And there is Scapegoat making their way out of the pack as well. So putting the pressure on Legs Get 'em to get what she can during the jam here. And Legs Get 'em goes ahead and calls it off rather than giving up any points to the hard-charging Scapegoat. It's interesting, announcing in a tournament. It just occurred to me as I looked at the number on the back of the jammer for Seattle.
I know what you're going to say.
And I said, that's number 425. And then it occurred to me, I haven't announced a Seattle bout yet.
Well,
I had to look down at my roster and figure out who I was looking at.
Yep, now we know. So let's get familiar with some of our Seattle skaters.
Absolutely.
We've got number 51, Slaughterhouse, who just made lead for TTRB. She's coming around, while number Leet, Joliet Jane for TXRD, grabbing hold of one of her own skaters to take a whip off of, and she is coming around to put the pressure on Slaughterhouse.
Slaughterhouse, number 5'1", calls off the jam there mid-pack. Joliet Jane was coming on from around the corner. Setting up the jam now for Texas, that's going to be Skeletina.
And Elaphobia for Seattle.
The slight height difference between the two jammers.
Just a little bit.
A slight height difference.
They might be like a couple inches, you know. Skeletina might be a couple inches shorter than Elaphobia.
Before we get to that, game executioner Obi-Wan Cannoli. He is rocking the snot out of that hat. Obi-Wan Cannoli down there. And we're going to have an official timeout. So before we get to the next jam, we're going to talk that one over a little bit.
I would like to tell you guys about the seat cushions that we have available. Have you been sitting on a hard bench all of yesterday and you've gotten here today and you're like, gee, I want to watch more roller derby, but these seats, I'm kind of sick and tired of them. I would like something soft to sit upon. Well, for the low, low price of $7, you can pick up a seat cushion at our Arizona Derby Dames merch booth. Skeletina and Elaphobia back to the jammer line, ready to go now.
Both jammers trying to fight their way through. Elaphobia trying to tiptoe along the coping on the inside of the turn, but Skeletina able to outrun her to the corner. Skeletina out first for Texas with Elaphobia in close behind and gaining with big strides as they head down the back straightaway. Skeletina, fleet of foot herself, one of our better jammers for Arizona, filling in and helping out our friends from Texas. And she gets through, picks up the points that she can, and calls off the jam. Picks up 2 points for Texas. Our score here in the very early going, 5-2.
Got number 9, Ruth Badger Jukesberg, coming to jam for Texas in what appears to be a power jam for TXRD.
Indeed, Elaphobia parked in the penalty box, so Ruth Badger Jukesberg is out there by her lonesome for Texas.
Looks like the jammer picked up an arms penalty in that last jam. So here comes Ruth Badger Jukesberg, juking around. Being held up by Novocaine, slammed to the rail by Novocaine, but she is able to make it out with the other Seattle blocker being out of play.
Those Texas defenders united in the back of the pack in a solid four wall. As Ruth Badger Jukesberg now coming up quickly, the Seattle pivot takes a tumble. Big collision at the front of the pack. One of the blockers goes down with Ruth Badger Jukesberg. 15 seconds to go in the power jam, trying to find her way past those blockers on the front end of the pack, one of whom is Novocaine. Arizona fans know that's not going to be an easy task. And that'll do it. The clock expires on the power jam.
Got Legs Get'em, your co-captain for Seattle, ready to jam for TTRB.
Don't see a Texas jammer out there, so looks like we've got a power jam. Yep, indeed, a penalty on Ruth Badger Jukesberg. So it's going to be a power jam for Seattle.
Got a bit of a power jam trade-off there. Legs Get'em given a good shoulder check by 616 Scapegoat. But Legs Get'em able to keep her skates under her and is out on her scoring pass. Got John Wayne Gay being goaded in the back by Seattle. And Legs Get'em able to get by those Texas blockers in the front. Can see both teams executing some good strategy. Seattle making sure to keep that pack slow as best they can so that their jammer can get around and get more points. Legs Get'em taken to the infield by John Wayne Gay. Fun fact, John Wayne Gay used to skate for Arizona back in the day, and she is not one to mess with.
That'll do it. The clock expires on the jam.
Before we could see anything, I think as I said that, John Wayne Gay went in for a shoulder check, but the clock expired, so Legs Get'em was safe from that. We've got a couple jammers on the jammer line who are in such low stances I can't tell who the heck they are.
Jamming for Texas, that's number 62, Slayana Mormont.
And somebody for Seattle, because they are wearing a red jersey, so that's definitely a Seattle jammer. That's Craven Cadavers. Thank you, audience. Jamming for Seattle.
Very helpful from the audience.
Craven making it by on the low. Joliet Jane making a good attempt to knock her off, but Craven staying afloat. We've got number 62 for Texas, Slayana Mormont, coming up fast on Craven. So Craven forced to call off that jam.
I like how at a roller derby bout, it's a perfectly natural thing for somebody in the audience to scream out, "That's Craven!" And we all know exactly what they mean.
Yep.
Stepping up to the jammer line for Texas now is Skeletina, going up against Elaphobia for Tilted Thunder. Trying to find her way past that defense as Elaphobia finds an opening there. Had some blockers up to the front of there, keeping those Texas blockers in check, and Elaphobia able to get right to the corner, and she's your lead jammer.
Skeletina's out as well.
And Elaphobia looks ahead, sees Skeletina out there, and calls off the jam.
Got Ruth Badger Jukesberg gonna jam for Texas with number 11, Baby Anarchy for Seattle, who we've seen some really cool stuff from this weekend, taking Ruth to the infield right off the jammer line, playing some jammer offense. And Baby Anarchy is out as your lead jammer for Seattle.
Baby Anarchy now runs squarely into the back of a Texas defender coming through the corner with a full head of steam.
And Ruth Badger Ginsburg has, or Jukesburg, excuse me, has actually passed the star to Joliet Jane, who is now able to get through with the Seattle blockers getting out of play in the front.
All kinds of collisions going on there. Baby Anarchy emerges out the other side of the pack and then calls off the jam. Five points on the board for Tilted Thunder there. 6 minutes and 45 seconds to go in the first quarter. We're going to have a timeout.
For Texas.
Team timeout by Texas, so we will step aside from the action for a moment. Right now the score is 27-7. Tilted Thunder over Texas. 6:43 to go in the first quarter.
If you've seen a roller derby bout before, which I think many of you have seen, one or two, possibly seen at least 5 or 6 if you were here yesterday, then you know that 7 points to 27 points is really still anybody's game. And we're still in the first quarter here of this bout.
Derby fans, every month the Arizona Derby Dames work with a local charity. For the month of February, the Arizona Derby Dames are working with Feed My Starving Children, a local nonprofit that feeds hungry and malnourished children all over the world. This month, skaters from the Arizona Derby Dames will be volunteering to pack food boxes to send to starving children. Please come volunteer with us on Wednesday, February 27th from 8:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. out in Mesa. For more information, please go to their website at fmsc.org.
Depeche a la Mode, number 24, for her first jam of the morning, coming up to jam for Texas, with number 4, 25, Legs Get 'em, your co-captain for Seattle. Both jammers held up there, but Depeche a la Mode able to stay on her skates until she gets taken to the infield by Seattle blockers in the front there. And an opening on the inside with both jammers getting out. Legs Get 'em coming around fast. Depeche a la Mode unfortunately took a spill there. Had to reset behind the pack.
And making her way through the pack, Legs Get 'em wanders through, takes over lead, in fact, and calls off the jam after it's all over.
Slaughterhouse, your captain this morning for the Tilted Thunder Railbirds, ready to jam for Seattle.
And
yeah.
I was going to say it's going to be a power jam.
I was going to say the same thing. That's
Well,
weird. Brilliant minds think alike.
Gosh, yeah. It's like we've done this before.
Whoa. It's like we've seen a roller derby bout before.
So power jam for Seattle. And down in the corner and fighting her way through is Slaughterhouse, who is in fact the team captain today.
Scarlet Knockout and also number 247, Jose Cuervo, working hard on some defense there. Able to keep Slaughterhouse in. Currently being held by Joliet Jane. Slaughterhouse moving her feet and just got hit hard by Jose Cuervo.
22 seconds to go here in the Tilted Thunder Power Jam. Still trying to find a way through the pack as Slaughterhouse. That Texas defense has found their raison d'etre all of a sudden.
Yeah, Texas doing a good job there. Slaughterhouse is able to make it out, while Seattle holds Joliet Jane in the back as a goat. So Slaughterhouse gets through, passes Joliet Jane, tries to pass a couple more blockers before the whistle is blown to end that jam.
And it's a 4-point power jam for Tilted Thunder.
Got Elaphobia for Seattle on the line with Scapegoat, I believe, coming to jam for the first time this morning.
Good defense there by Texas to keep that power jam. Anytime you can keep a power jam in the single digits, you've done pretty good defense.
That's a success for sure.
And Elaphobia waited for her moment, was skating along in the pack, then had a blocker help her out, open the door, and Elaphobia is out and clear.
Scapegoat being given an opening by their offense, John Wayne Gay, and they are coming around to put the pressure on Elaphobia. Damn it, Jamit sending a hard hit towards Elaphobia, who skirts right away from it and has to call off the jam with Scapegoat coming up quick.
So we will set up for the next jam, and it's going to be Ruth Badger Jukesberg for Texas.
And I think that's Baby Anarchy for TTRB. She turns around, gives me a thumbs up, says, that sure is me. Out there ready to do some jamming. With some beautiful rail spins and a beautiful transition on the low. Unfortunately is taken out by a Texas blocker, but is able to get back up and out as your lead jammer. We've got Ruth Badger Jukesberg speeding around the track to catch Baby Anarchy.
Now the pack gets moving a little bit. Baby Anarchy trying to go along the inside, and a humongous collision with Mostly Harmless there along the inside of the turn.
Mostly Harmless, whose name is a big old lie. It's definitely a real scary blocker out there, blowing up Baby Anarchy in the last couple seconds of that jam. We've got John Wayne Gay coming to the jammer line for the first time for Texas this morning.
For Tilted Thunder, that's going to be your co-captain. Legs get him.
John Wayne Gay eyeing the pack maliciously. And we've got an official timeout.
Don't forget, fans, all sorts of fantastic food options available to you if you're here in person. I mean, you might have fantastic food options if you're watching on the web stream. I don't know. I don't know what's in your fridge. But if you're here in person, we've got the Off the Hook taco truck. Outside, they were serving breakfast all morning and have more than likely transitioned to lunch at this point. And they have fantastic fish tacos, chicken, vegetarian options, French fries. The snack bar is open, the AZDD snack bar, if you'd like to get yourself a little bite to eat. Cash only inside, please. And we've got the Fantasy Funnel Cake team coming by later on. I believe the Copper Star's probably wrapped up for the day.
No, they can't be.
Are they open?
No way.
Working? Looking over here, looks like Copper Star is still serving.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah,
they're
big
waving.
wave, big
I'm
wave.
still trying to get my iced chai later. Don't do that to me.
All right, Copper Star is still open, so food at
Whew,
Copper Star. We've
thank
got
goodness.
popcorn in here, so you will not go hungry. It looks like we have moved into a challenge. So this is going to become a coach's challenge here. We'll wait for the official word from the infield on that.
And just an update on our food situation. I know it's getting towards lunchtime. The Minor Assaults are selling their cupcakes for only $2. Also got a couple of other things being sold by the Minor Assaults as a fundraiser to get them to battle on the bank this summer in June, hosted by Southside Roller Derby. The Minor Assaults are also selling popcorn for $1 and cake pops for $1 in addition to their $2 cupcakes. So get yourself a sweet treat. You've earned it. You've been here watching some roller derby. A lot of you have been here volunteering. Get yourself a sweet treat from the Minor Assaults.
Speaking of the Minor Assaults, if you're a young lady between the ages of 10 and 17 who loves to skate, or do you know somebody who meets those very simple criteria? Our Minor Assaults are a nonprofit 501c3 and are always looking for new skaters to join their team. Our coaches not only teach technique and knowledge of the sport, but they also help build leadership, teamwork, and problem-solving skills that'll help in life situations far beyond roller derby. Minor skating skills, dedication to learn, and a positive mental attitude are all that we require. Come see what all the fun is about. Ask any Arizona Derby dame how to get involved, or visit our website at azddinspire.org for information on donating to or sponsoring the Minor Assaults.
If you would like your child to become a 15-year-old who can scare the pants off of grown adults, have them sign up for the Minor Assaults or any of your league's equivalent junior team, because I tell you, I go out there as a grown-up adult against some of those 13 and 15-year-olds, and man, they are scary. They know what the heck they're doing. The refs seem to be having a challenging time, if you will, deliberating what's going on here.
Apparently Bill looked up here and got confused because I was still sitting here, and I'm like, well, the last bout just ended late. I just hadn't moved yet. He's like, yeah, he looked up, and I guess he thought you were just going to keep going, so he just kept going. I'm like, all right, whatever. We good. We fine. I don't care.
I'm down. Are we early? Because I think this bout was... what time did it start?
No, we're not early. It's 11:19, but we've still got a good 2.5 minutes left yet of game time. So we'll be this will end at about 11:25. That'll put us at halftime at like 11:45. So we're right on schedule.
Oh, perfect. It would appear the discussion about the challenge has wrapped up with that penalty being overturned, which results in 2 jammers on the track. We've got John Wayne Gay for Texas and Legs Get 'em, your co-captain for Seattle. Slow start to this jam.
Neither jammer wants to be the one to budge first. It's like that standoff scene at the end of Fistful of Dollars. And there we go. Suddenly the tension breaks, and we go from camera shots of shifty eyes to John Wayne Gay clearing the front of the pack for Texas. Right in behind her, though, is your Seattle jammer as well. So John Wayne Gay going to get back to the pack and see what she can pick up here. Couple of big collisions there at the very tail end of the jam. We had the Seattle jammer, Legs Get 'em, trying to avoid a Texas skater that was falling and kind of went ribs first into the side rail there. That looked painful.
Yeah. Craven Cadavers for Seattle with Joliet Jane for Texas. About to start off this next jam.
Before we get to that, here comes another official timeout. So a lot of penalties they got to get sorted out and make sure everything's going in the right direction. Did see a little bit of confusion there. I saw the Seattle jammer think she had to go to the penalty box and then came back. So I'll talk that one over. That'll give us a chance to talk to you about Lost Dutchman Tattoo. Lost Dutchman Tattoo Shop specializes in various styles from realism to traditional. You can customize your own tattoo, and skaters can get a $50 custom 3-inch tattoo to commemorate the event from today. Appointments available all day today, Sunday, and they're located not far at all from the Hall of Dames, 4121 North 19th Avenue. It's the east side of 19th Avenue, just north of Indian School Road. If you'd like to get yourself a $50 custom 3-inch tattoo to commemorate the occasion of Chingadera, feel free to talk to any Arizona skater. They'll get you pointed in the right direction.
It appears that there was a jammer penalty called on the TTRB jammer. So this will be a power jam for Texas being skated by Joliet Jane.
So sore ribs and all, Legs Get 'em had to go to the penalty box.
Joliet Jane taken to the infield by number 5, Tara Hoedown, before she's able to reset.
Joliet Jane fighting her way to the front of the pack and able to get those last few blockers pushed just out of play, so Joliet Jane gets through.
Texas doing a great job keeping a blocker in the back, allowing Joliet Jane to push Craven, Novocaine, and Slaughterhouse out of play.
There are 6 seconds to go here in the Texas Power Jam. Joliet Jane trying to get through on another scoring pass, seeing if she can find her way through. And the clock is going to expire. And you know, fans, local fans especially, you're probably listening to and watching this bout, and you're like, Skeletina, Craven Cadavers, those names sound familiar. A lot of our Arizona skaters are actually helping out with Texas and Seattle, and I believe at least one other team. And sorry, I got distracted there.
It's all right,
skaters
it's a long weekend.
Subbing in and helping out the teams. Definitely Skeletina's jammed for Texas a few times. Texas also featuring Dammit Jammit, Scarlet Knockout, 2 skaters from our home teams.
Yes.
And Craven Cadavers skating with Seattle along with Novocaine.
Lots of our excellent local skaters showing up today. Also, we've got Elaphobia from Seattle and Ruth Badger Jukesburg from Texas. Skaters local to their own respective states. They were in a jammer race Uh, Ruth Badger Jukesburg forcing Elaphobia to call that off.
So 2 points will go on the board for Tilted Thunder, and that'll take us to the quarter break. So we've got 5-minute break here before the second quarter starts. A quick check of the score. It's going to be Tilted Thunder 45, Texas 10. All right, looks like we got everything sorted out here as the quarter break has begun. And the points on the board for Texas. Texas picked up some points there after the previous jam. So we had some problems with the scoreboard, which is what led to a little bit of a delay there in the scoring. But your score right now, Tilted Thunder 45, Texas 18. Texas has 18, not 10.
Want to give a shout out to, we were talking about some of our local skaters who are skating with some other teams this weekend. Wanted to give a shout out to LaChancla, who's also skating with Seattle. Woo, woo, woo! And LaChancla is an excellent skater who skates for our home team, the Runaway Brides, and her daughter is actually with our minor assaults as well. Excellent skater as well. We like to keep it in the family.
going to be.
Looks like we're starting off this, so what is it, the second quarter with a power jam for TTRB, and that's being skated by Baby Anarchy, who I know hears my voice because she gave me a thumbs up earlier, so go get him, Baby Anarchy.
So Baby Anarchy down along the inside, a little pirouette, then bumped off by John Wayne Gay going into the corner. Tries to pirouette again. That time looked like she kind of bumped into her own pivot and fell off again. So now trying to get up and recover a third time.
Baby Anarchy is an excellent jammer. She's got a lot of very strong defensive skaters to fight against right now, though. She's going against mostly Harmless and Scapegoat in the front. We've got John Wayne Gay and Damn It Jam It also out there playing Power D. Ooh,
And
Novocaine taking Damn It Jam It down hard.
so here comes Baby Anarchy taking a look at the pack, coming on back down the front straightaway. Takes a bump there, trying to find her way through the pack. Very staggered out pack, and she's taking advantage of that. And a skater takes a big tumble right there. That was John Wayne Gay.
Some hard hits on day 2 of Chingadera.
Pretty hard on the jammer there, I was going to say. She really took a pounding trying to get through the pack.
Yeah. Juliet Jane coming to jam for Texas. And number 425, Legs Get 'em for Tilted Thunder.
5 points on the board for Tilted Thunder during that power jam. 5 hard-earned points by Baby Anarchy.
Legs Get 'em taking down Skeletina as she runs out on the high side as lead jammer. Juliet Jane nearly taken to the infield by Elaphobia, but she is able to stick to that inside coping, but the jam is called off.
So
Hey.
now jamming for Tilted Thunder is going to be number 5'1" Slaughterhouse.
And Scarlet Knockout coming to the jammer line for the first time for Texas this morning.
And there goes Slaughterhouse like a shot. Finds an opening through the turn, able to take a straight line and emerge from the pack.
Scarlet Knockout, who does not do a ton of jamming, which is unfortunate because when she does, she's really killing it out there. Here she comes, putting the pressure on Slaughterhouse.
Yeah, see, it gets to be a thing where, like, Scarlet's really good at jamming, but Scarlet
Yes.
is a preternaturally good blocker.
Oh, she's
so.
incredible.
Right.
Scarlet Knockout was, I mean, when I used to just be a fan coming to watch games, she was one of the ones I was watching because she was so cool. All the things. All right, Skeletina number 10-12 jamming for Texas with Elaphobia for Tilted Thunder.
And there goes Skeletina. She's your lead jammer for Texas. Elaphobia trying to race to the corner. Ruth Badger Jukesberg is there to slow down Elaphobia, and the wall is able to reform in front of her. Skeletina through the pack on a scoring pass with 30 seconds to go in this jam.
Had Jackie Lantern for the All-Star Army able to distract that wall and get Skeletina through. Let's see if Skeletina can make it through Seattle's wall again.
And now Elaphobia out of the pack, so she'll be coming around the corner. Skeletina back up onto the track and sensing a defensive battle, and she's already picked up those points. She calls off the jam.
She was taken to the infield by Hammond. Good strong hit there. We've got Ruth Badger Jukesberg for Texas. Craven Cadavers for Seattle.
Texas put 7 points on the board there. Takes our score to 58-25. Tilted Thunder, just under 11 minutes to go before halftime.
Still got a pretty close game here. We could have some power jams and throw a curveball up in here. Both jammers stuck behind the pack, right in the middle.
And both look like they're just trying to brute force their way
who's
through it.
Who's going to find an opening first?
Down to the inside, Craven Cadavers, but ran out of real estate at the edge of the turn. Tries to run to the outside, now going to the front of the pack. There goes John Wayne Gay trying to wait for her jammer to see if she can spring him free. And there goes the green jammer. It's Ruth Badger Jukesberg, and she's your lead jammer for Texas halfway through this jam.
Weasels her way out, or badgers her way out, I guess?
Something like that. She burrowed. I think badgers burrow, if I'm correct.
Craven still fighting with John Wayne Gay and Joliet Jane in the back there.
I think I recall seeing that on Planet Earth once, and Morgan Freeman going, "The badger prefers to burrow down deep onto the ground." That's the worst Morgan Freeman impression you're ever going to hear today. Stepping to the jammer line for Texas now, after Texas puts 3 points on the board to cut the lead to 30. That is going to be number 616 for Texas.
Scapegoat. And we've got, I believe that's Legs Get 'em again for TTRB. Looks like we've got a couple of penalties being assessed, so have some people coming down. In fact, the jammer for Tilted Thunder got a penalty in this last jam, so this will be Scapegoat skating a power jam for the All-Star Army.
Craven Cadavers, number 616 in red, picking up a jammer penalty, which means that Scapegoat 616 in green now out there for a power jam for Texas.
They get knocked down by some of the blockers in the back from Seattle. TTRB holding some strong defense in the front there. LaChonkla and Hammond, among other blockers, just holding that wall strong.
.20 seconds to go here in the power jam, and then managing to spin around to the inside. There goes
Scapegoat coming around. Texas making a strategic play to slow that pack down so Scapegoat can get around. Let's see if they can pick up any points before the end of this jam.
And that is going to do it for the clock. Let's check the score. And that is a 0 held up by the referee, so no points on the power jam.
Amelia Bearhart ready to go to jam for TTRB, I believe, for the first time this morning, with Dammit Jammit coming to the line for Texas also for the first time this morning.
However, before we get to that, we are going to have a timeout, and it's going to be a team timeout called by Tilted Thunder. So Tilted Thunder wants to take a second and talk over some of the goings-on. Don't forget about Siphon Draw Apothecary Shop. Their booth today is open next to the merchandise window. Siphon Draw produces all-natural, non-toxic, handcrafted skincare products made by our very own Dolly de los Muertos. They've got lip balm over there that is amazing.
And if you haven't smelled their lemongrass deodorant, you should go and smell that now.
It smells really good. It smells better than sweat.
It smells a lot better than,
far better than sweat.
Absolutely. It smells a lot better than all of us sitting here for 2 days straight.
Right.
Watching roller derby.
In the roller derby warehouse, and it smells like an interesting amalgam of sweat and pad and.
It's called the official scientific term is derby funk.
Got it. Or as they say in French, out a roller derby.
Exactly. I thought that was an expensive perfume, actually.
That's what they'd have you believe. So Siphon Draw has their booth here today. Be sure to visit them at their booth, and of course, you can visit them anytime at the historic Goldfield Ghost Town on Highway 88. So we get back to the action, and it's going to be a power jam. Amelia Bearhart, after checking the structural integrity of the track, is ready to do the power jam for Tilted Thunder. Teeny tiny pack out there.
Yeah, it looks like we've got only Scarlet Knockout and John Wayne Gay skating as blockers for Texas, with Novocaine trying to play some offense for Amelia Bearhart. Amelia Bearhart stuck behind John Wayne Gay.
And Amelia Bearhart now up against John Wayne Gay, just trying to blast her way through there. And those Texas defenders are holding strong. John Wayne Gay blocks her again as she comes up, and then there's a tumble. John Wayne Gay takes a spill down to the inside, and her other defender, Scarlet Knockout, doing her best. And after taking about 40 seconds off the power jam clock, Amelia Bearhart able to get clear. Now going to try to catch up again. Scarlet Knockout and John Wayne Gay are together at the front of the pack. Former teammates here in town on the Bombshells, let alone teammates on the Arizona Hot Shots.
It's true.
And that's going to do it for the power jam. Cheer goes up from the crowd and the Texas contingent. Excellent defense by the two Texas defenders that were out there on the track.
Good job, All-Star Army.
4-point power jam. Setting up the jam now with 6:45 to go until halftime. We've got Ellaphobia number 00.
And that's 10-12 Skeletina for Texas. Skeletina, just a jukey little thing, swishes right on by. Ellaphobia held up by Joliet Jane. Ooh, Skeletina jumping over that coping, got Ellaphobia now out of the pack, forcing Skeletina to call that jam off.
Ellaphobia just eating up ground with those skate strides, and Skeletina, who's probably one of the, I'd say she's in the top fourth as far as fast skaters in our league, and Ellaphobia
She's definitely
was skating on
fast.
her like she was skating backwards. So.
I wish I had legs like Ellaphobia. They're very long.
Very efficient, very efficient.
Very efficient, absolutely.
Jamming, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, you're good. We did have a power jam called, maybe. Well, looks like we did have a power jam called penalty on the Texas jammer. So now we'll have a penalty jam skated by Craven Cadavers for the Tilted Thunder Railbirds.
Skeletina was able to put 5 points on the board for Texas there, but picking up a penalty. And there goes Craven Cadavers. She is out and clear. 10 seconds gone in the power jam.
Turns around to throw a grin to Scarlet Knockout. They know each other from skating on our local teams here in Arizona. They actually go way back, and they used to skate on a home team together here way back in the day. Craven Cadavers making it past John Wayne Gay with the help of Novocaine, coming back, eyeing the pack, trying to see what's the best way to get Seattle a couple more points.
And Craven Cadavers able to breeze through the pack there and dodge those last couple of blockers for Texas. Coming around for another scoring pass now with 10 seconds to go in the power jam. That time Scarlet Knockout routes Craven Cadavers off onto the infield.
Slaughterhouse and Baby Anarchy and number 5 Terre Hoedown were keeping Dammit Jammin' in the back of the pack as a goat there. Not an easy thing to do. Dammit Jammin' is a fighter.
Setting up now to jam is going to be Joliet Jane, number Leet for Texas.
And number 425 Legs Get 'em.
And racing through the pack, both jammers at approximately the same time get out. Your lead jammer is Seattle, and that's going to be Legs Get 'em, who's out there.
And Joliet Jane did a panty stash, put that star, took it off her head as though to pass it to the pivot. Didn't end up doing so, kept it, and was able to come around.
So points for both sides there as Joliet Jane with a full head of steam able to get a couple points on the back end before the jam was called off. So 3 points for Texas, 2 points for Tilted Thunder. Jamming for Texas, number 62, Slayana Mormont.
For the first time this morning, Slaughterhouse up in the front, trying to get past Scarlet Knockout and Jackie Lantern. Slaughterhouse able to make it out.
At the back of the pack now, Slayana Mormont getting knocked around by those defenders at the back end for Tilted Thunder. Running right along the inside of the turn and finishing off a scoring pass is Slaughterhouse, now coming around for some more.
Bunch of skaters down in the back of the pack. Slaughterhouse hitting John Wayne Gay pretty hard, getting taken to the rail, but then pushing her way to the front of the pack before calling the jam off.
So we'll be setting up here for the next jam. It's going to be Skeletina jamming for Texas and Ellaphobia for Tilted Thunder.
Ellaphobia playing some defense off the line, trying to keep Skeletina in check. Skeletina almost makes it out on the low and gets a hit to the infield from Hammond. And Ellaphobia is out, your lead jammer for TTRB. The TXRD jammer, Skeletina, still trying to make it past number 9, La Chancla.
Skeletina was up the front of the pack trying to get around La Chancla, and Ellaphobia out in front of her, and she goes ahead and calls off the jam. Just under 2 minutes until halftime. It looks like we've got, that is going to be number 25, Amelia Bearhart for Tilted Thunder.
And Ruth Badger Jukesberg.
And to the front of the pack goes the notorious RBJ, and she is out and is your lead jammer for Texas. Big collision there at the back of the pack. I did see John Wayne Gay going down with the Tilted Thunder jammer, and Ruth Badger Jukesberg up through the pack on a scoring pass and coming around for some more with more than half the jam to go.
All-Star Army playing some great offense for their jammer there. Ruth Badger Jukesberg nearly making it by on the inside. Resetting and is stuck behind Novocaine and Baby Anarchy. Hit to the infield.
And Ruth Badger Jukesberg calls off the jam from the back of the pack. Puts 10 points on the board for Texas.
Got number 42, Mostly Harmless for the All-Star Army, jamming for the first time this morning. And 425, Legs Get 'em for Tilted Thunder. Everybody's ready to go, but we will have to talk about it for just a moment.
So an official timeout before what is most likely going to be the last jam of the first half. We will take a moment and let the referees talk that one over. You've been hearing us talk about the sponsors of the tournament and the longtime sponsors of our league as well. If you're interested in being a season sponsor for the Arizona Derby Dames, we do have different sponsor packages available to suit your needs with many benefits to choose from. Find any Arizona Derby Dame today, and they can point you in the right direction for sponsorship questions and information. So we resume with number 42, Mostly Harmless, jamming for Texas, and number 425, Legs Get 'em for Seattle.
Mostly Harmless playing some jammer defense right off the line, but ending up getting held up by the Seattle blockers. Legs Get 'em out. Lead jammer for Seattle.
And now the pack becomes a little scattered as they head through the turn, and using that to her advantage as Legs Get 'em. Coming out of the pack as well, there's Mostly Harmless. So Mostly Harmless clear of the pack. Legs Get 'em gonna come up and try to finish a scoring pass here.
Legs Get 'em with a great awareness of timing there. Swings her hips around the blockers from Texas. Tries to get some points before needing to call that jam off.
So we have reached halftime of the second bout of 6 today, and we're going to step aside for a 15-minute halftime break. We'll be back with you with the second half. Your score right now, Tilted Thunder 99, Texas RD 46.
And we're coming back to the third quarter with the Texas All-Star Army versus the Seattle Tilted Thunder Railbirds. We've got Slaughterhouse for Tilted Thunder on the jammer line with Joliet Jane for Texas. Slaughterhouse promptly thrown into the infield but gets back up. Joliet Jane caught up behind some blockers but is able to get around.
And there goes Joliet Jane like a shot. That San Diego jammer almost clear but ended up tumbling to the track and had to get up to about a half track behind Joliet Jane now. That's Slaughterhouse out there for Seattle. Joliet Jane quickly up to the track, weaves her way through the pack, and the call goes up from her bench to call off the jam. So 4 points on the board for Texas. Takes them up to 5-0, which is what my brain was trying to say. So score right now 99-50.
Got Scapegoat coming up to jam for Texas, and number 00, Elephobia for Seattle. Elephobia taking lead jammer, while Scapegoat is knocked to the infield. Currently stuck behind a couple of Seattle blockers.
Elephobia now beginning to make her way through the pack. Very spread out pack, almost the entire length of the front straightaway, but Elephobia able to find some openings and gets through on a scoring pass.
Tara Hoedown knocked Scapegoat to the infield, but Scapegoat was able to get by with the help of some of their blockers, excuse me.
So Scapegoat forcing the issue. Elephobia now up into the pack and calls off the jam before surrendering any points to Scapegoat. 4 points on the board for Elephobia during that jam. That pushes Tilted Thunder up over 100. And we're looking at Ruth Badger Jukesberg on the jammer line for Texas.
Got number 120 Hammond for Seattle. Believe jamming for the first time this morning. And Hammond is out.
Hammond making her way around quickly to get back to the pack. Texas jammer still trying to find her way through. Ruth Badger Jukesberg pushed up into the guardrail, tries to go down to the inside, and Novocaine shuts that door quickly. And Hammond through the pack on a scoring pass.
Ruth Badger Jukesberg finds an open lane on the low, is able to escape from the pack with Hammond coming up quickly. Getting thrown to the rail by Mostly Harmless and has to call that jam off, so Ruth Badger Jukesberg can't get any points for Texas All-Star Army. Skeletina blowing some kisses and about to put her game face on and jam for Texas, while number 425, Legs Get 'em, is about to go out there and get him for Seattle.
And Skeletina right through the pack, found an opening and quickly to the front as lead jammer for Texas.
Legs Get 'em trailing close behind.
And a collision there in the back straightaway. Skeletina trying to angle down towards the inside of the track to block the jammer for Tilted Thunder, who was coming through in a collision, and they both went down. Everybody's back up and okay. And 1 point on the board for Texas in the jam.
Elephobia about to jam for the Railbirds with Joliet Jane for the All-Star Army. Joliet Jane makes a successful star pass. And we have our lead jammer for Texas, Jose Cuervo.
So Jose Cuervo takes over as jammer for Texas and now approaching the pack.
They are almost able to make it out on the inside. They are taken down by a strong hit from number 428, Carnia Slaughter. They are forced to call off that jam with Elephobia coming up quick. Scapegoat coming back to the line for Texas All-Star Army. And 425 Legs Get 'em. Legs Get 'em has been up here a lot today for Tilted Thunder. Shows a lot of jammer endurance. Scapegoat knocked to the infield. I believe that was a hit by Craven Cadavers. Legs Get 'em out and around.
Yeah, you saw Scapegoat just had way too much momentum coming into the corner and ended up going almost all the way through the turn on the infield. Had to go clear back and wait for the pack to catch up to them. Now at the front of the pack, Scapegoat is doing battle with that pivot for Tilted Thunder and able to get through, so they'll be coming around to force the issue. And the Legs Get 'em calls off the jam, looking up and seeing Scapegoat coming on with a full head of steam. Three points on the jam for Tilted Thunder. And
next up we got Ruth Bader Jukesburg for Texas, All-Star Army, Slaughterhouse for Seattle.
And with that, with a nice move, Ruth Badger Jukesburg. A cheer goes up from the crowd, able to dodge a blocker and get through the turn. And she's your lead jammer for Texas.
Excellent balance there. Ruth Bader Jukesburg staying on her skates. Slaughterhouse is now out, coming around. Ruth Bader Jukesburg instructed to call it by her teammates and coaches and does so promptly. John Wayne Gay about to jam for the Texas All-Star Army. And 120 Hammond back on the line for the Tilted Thunder Railbirds.
You saw both jammers patiently approaching the pack there. John Wayne Gay waiting to make a move, then saw an opening and took it. And she's your lead jammer for Texas.
Hammond is out for the Tilted Thunder Railbirds. John Wayne Gay taken out to the infield by number 425, Legs Get 'em. Has to call that jam off before Hammond can get any points. That's Mostly Harmless coming up to jam for Texas again. Elaphobia once again representing for Seattle.
We get underway here. In the jam, Mostly Harmless fighting her way to the front of the pack and then get some help from those blockers on the front end. And Mostly Harmless is your lead jammer.
Mostly Harmless juking back and forth. Blockers were unable to follow her movements, so she was able to get out. Got Elaphobia is out now, coming around, while Mostly Harmless is stuck behind the Seattle strong defensive wall and forced to call that jam off.
And before we proceed forward, we are going to have a team timeout called by Tilted Thunder. So, Tilted Thunder going to take a second to discuss some goings-on and perhaps some strategy here as the clock stops with 6:45 to go in the third quarter. Your score right now, Tilted Thunder 115, Texas 61. The lead is roughly about where it started at the beginning of the quarter, so it's Tilted Thunder maintaining their lead so far. Don't forget, if you're looking for something to do afterwards tonight, when the party stops here at 9 p.m., it's going to continue at Third Space, the official after-party location. Third Space, the after-party location for every bout here at the Hall of Dames, and also a longtime sponsor of the league. Cafe, bar, coffee, shops, music, fried bologna, it's incredible. Located at 1028 Grand Avenue, that's 11th Avenue and Grand, right after we are done here this evening at 9 o'clock.
And we're back with Slaughterhouse, number 51, about to represent for Seattle, while Scapegoat will be jamming for Texas. Scapegoat throwing a good shoulder check there, and they are out. Lead jammer, with Slaughterhouse being held back by some of the All-Star Army blockers. And Slaughterhouse makes it past John Wayne Gay. Scapegoat coming around for a scoring pass.
Scapegoat making their way through the pack and able to keep a skate on the track and pull through on a scoring pass and calls off the jam. Four points up for Texas. And coming to the line for Texas, it doesn't matter who it was because it's a moot point. It's a power jam for Tilted Thunder.
Juliet Jane came to the jammer line and then said, just kidding, I won't be jamming. I will be blocking.
So jamming for Tilted Thunder for the first time this morning, it's Novocaine.
I love seeing Novocaine jam, and I am really excited to see her jam this power jam for the Tilted Thunder Railbirds.
Cheer goes up from the hometown crowd. Novocaine battling to the front of the pack and able to push her way past those last couple of Texas defenders.
Seattle doing a great job holding Slayana Mormont in the back. Novocaine able to sneak right by that attempt at a hit by Joliet Jane, but Novocaine said, nope, I'm going to swish right on through here. Thanks.
There's 23 seconds left in the Tilted Thunder Power Jam. Novocaine calling out blocking instructions as she comes through the corner, trying to recover and get back up. She's got one blocker out there at the front of the pack trying to help her, and she's trying to battle by on that rail. Now gets another blocker up into the mix. 6 seconds to go here in the power jam, trying to find an opening. Novocaine tries to go and succeeds right between the two Texas defenders, able to drive her way through and finish the scoring pass.
So exciting to see skaters who are secret triple threats. You know, skaters who are often in a blocking role and then they can jam as good as anybody who's jamming in their regular jammer rotation. We actually have a
challenge.
Yes.
We have a challenge. The Texas All-Star Army challenging a ruling on the field. So we will get the word from the infield on what they are challenging and if it was successful. We will find that out in just a few minutes. 10 points put up on the board there by Novocaine, who's, again, if you heard the pregame introductions, Novocaine's wearing number 0 today. And we make that distinction because she almost always wears number 00, but they've got a 00. So Novocaine filling in with the Tilted Thunder Railbirds All-Stars, and she's wearing number 0. 0. During this official review, don't forget you can always visit the Arizona Derby Names merchandise booth to get your favorite league and team merchandise. T-shirts, tank tops, hats, koozies, as well as stickers, buttons, and patches for your favorite teams. It's all at the Arizona Derby Dames merchandise booth.
And old Greg, I actually saw one of my teammates yesterday carrying what appeared to be a roller skate keychain that said Arizona Derby Dames on it. So I don't know if any of the rest of you have seen those roller skate keychains that say Arizona Derby Dames on them, but I need to get over to that merch booth and buy myself one of those because those look pretty great. And if I'm remembering right, those are also, what do you call it, can openers?
Yeah.
That's the scientific term, right?
Bottle opener?
Bottle opener, yeah. You know.
You can use them to open all kinds of bottles.
You can probably open a can without a tool.
Coca-Cola bottles and
yeah.
Jarritos sodas and, all sorts of bottles you could open.
All right, Coca-Cola, sponsor us.
So the official review continues apace along the back straightaway.
Anybody want to do the wave? Do we want to do the wave? All right, we're going to start over by the restrooms and head towards the the AV booth. All right, on your mark, get set, by the restrooms. Let's start the wave. Ready? Woo! All right, next over to McGonagall. All right, there we go. Woo! The wave. Ah, good job, you guys. Coming back around this way. Woo! Nice job, everybody. All right, the refs understand that we're playing the official passive-aggressive music.
Right. The huddle has broken. The referees know where they're having lunch. I'm just kidding.
I know where I'm having lunch. It's at the food truck outside.
Yeah, yes. Well, yeah, all right. Pretty sure everybody's having lunch at Off the Hook or one of the wonderful food options available to us here at the Holidays. We're just waiting to get the word up here from the infield on the challenge and the results thereof.
Panda, the Panda Face Killer doing a little dance, so.
Yeah, I was going to say, spoiler alert, the
Spoiler
Texas
alert.
bench is literally dancing, so it was probably overturned.
We have a good feeling about this.
Penalty was overturned is the word from the infield, so official review is over. We'll be getting right back to the action right now. And Texas triumphantly sends a jammer up the track, and the two jammers, another two Phoenicians out there helping out our travel teams.
Yes, as a matter of fact, both of these jammers jam for our home team, the Coffin Draggers. So we've got Skeletina out lead for Texas with Craven Cadavers chasing her down to see which of these Coffin Draggers is faster. And it turns out Skeletina calls off the jam.
We had two Coffin Draggers jammers out there doing a jammer race, and then Skeletina called it off, and I heard somebody from the audience go, ah! Somebody was really excited for a jammer race.
Prettiest girls in the morgue and fastest girls in the morgue. All right, we've got Ruth Badger Jukesberg, number 9 for the All-Star Army, and 120 Hammond for Seattle being knocked to the infield.
Hammond trying to get through on the inside, just ran out of real estate. And now, right to the front of the pack goes Ruth Badger Jukesberg.
Takes a hard hit from Slaughterhouse. She's actually making a face here, but she took that hit and kept on going like the literal trooper that she is, being part of the All-Star Army.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nothing like taking a shoulder to the middle of your rib cage.
There really isn't anything like it.
And there goes Hammond for Tilted Thunder, out and clear. Ruth Badger Jukesberg out of the pack after her scoring pass and calls off the jam. Five points on the board for Texas. Stepping up to the jammer line for Texas, number 1945, John Wayne Gay.
And 425, Legs Get 'em. Legs Get 'em, seeing her blockers opening up that high lane for her, follows right through and is able to get out. John Wayne Gay being held up by the Seattle defense. Goes in for a hard hit on number 00 and number 0. Isn't able to break it through that defense. Seems like there might be some equipment malfunction going on. So currently we have only one jammer on the track. That is going to be number 425, Legs Get 'em.
Instruction goes up from the bench for Texas to switch into a power defense as their jammer, it looks like, yeah, John Wayne Gay took herself down to the bench there after that fall. So getting checked out on the bench by the medical staff as the jam proceeds with about 5 seconds left on the clock. And there goes Legs Get 'em on another scoring pass. So we'll wait for the official score here. And it's a 10-point power jam on the board for Seattle. Setting up on the jammer line for Texas is going to be
Joliet Jane. I like how we said that. And Craven Cadavers for Seattle.
And both jammers out. Craven Cadavers out slightly in front. Joliet Jane right on her right hip. Craven is going to try to get Little in the way there, see it. Oh, and they reached out and held hands for a second before Craven calls off the jam.
Big smiles on both
cute.
jammers' faces there.
Synchronized jamming.
Absolutely. A little bit of a lot of affection going on between all of our teams this weekend. Derby League team self.
It looks like the Croatian judge gave him 8.0 there for technical prowess coming through the corner. We've got Skeletina on the jammer line for Texas, and that's Ellaphobia for Tilted Thunder.
Ellaphobia able to trick the blocker into thinking she would take the high lane. She ended up scooting by on the low. Skeletina knocked hard to the infield by Baby Anarchy, while Ellaphobia runs through on a scoring pass.
Ellaphobia able to power her way through a couple of blocks there and finish the scoring pass. And it looks like, though, it is going to be a power jam for Texas. Indeed, penalty called on Ellaphobia there in that last jam. So on the jammer line, it's going to be Joliet Jane all by her lonesome. And is going to have a power jam for Texas to close out the third quarter right here.
We've got TTRB sitting both a jammer and a blocker, so we've got a very advantageous position for Texas here. They've got all four of their blockers out, and Joliet Jane out ready to jam. But before we do that...
Before we get to that, we got another official timeout. We're going to sort out some of the details of what's about to happen.
Take a moment to give a shout out to our referees who are working hard all weekend. There's a lot that goes into refereeing that most of us as skaters at any rate don't even think about, and they are just juggling all kinds of details, keeping everything straight. So thanks for being out there, you guys. We've got an official timeout while the refs discuss.
So we do still have time for one more jam here in the third quarter. If you're watching at home and noting that the the quarter clock's at quadruple zeros, we do have one more jam left here. We are just on an official timeout beforehand. So both teams getting set to go. We have discussed what needed to be discussed with the outside pack referee, and with that signal, we are ready to get back out there. So here we go. Closing out the third quarter now, Texas. And it's not going to be a power jam after official review. Here comes the jammer for Tilted Thunder. That is Slaughterhouse, your captain, number 5'1". Captain on captain jam here with Joliet Jane out there for Texas. And Joliet Jane able to battle her way to the front of the pack and get that Tilted Thunder pivot pushed out of play, as Slaughterhouse now out of the pack as well for Seattle. Joliet Jane's got one crack at a scoring pass here. Got
Tara Hoedown and another blocker who I can't see. That's Hammond. Thank you.
Yeah, there's only metallic purple helmet out there.
Old Greg's got some excellent mnemonic devices.
Old Greg has excellent mnemonic devices to recognize skaters because Old Greg can't read any numbers or names for eyesight's sake.
Oh, that's why you asked me if I had eyes earlier when we were looking at
exactly.
Above and Beyond Palette Creations.
I can't tell if you have eyes. Your whole face is a blur.
You don't have eyes, so you can't tell if I do.
2 points on the board for Texas. That takes us to the quarter break.
Are you sure?
I am.
Can you see?
I am sure.
Okay, 2 points on the board.
I have a
Can
sense
confirm.
for that sort of a thing. We will step aside for the remainder of a 5-minute quarter break and be right back with the rest of this bout, the second bout out of 6 today here at Chingadera 2019.
2019. Just want to give a shout out to all the tail wagging doggos in the house today. We know roller derby's a rough game. We know you like that. So
Yeah,
thanks
so we
for being
just
here.
wanted to take a second to pause.
Get out, go home.
Okay. Guess you're announcing the rest of the day.
Oh God, no, stay. Dug a hole for myself there, didn't I? Throw me a bone, why don't you? Please. Womp womp. All right, Becker, you can go home now.
You could keep going. I mean, you could make at least 8 or K9 puns on the topic. Got 90 seconds to go here before the fourth quarter. Figured we'd let you know, of course, we've been talking about it, but more action continues. Right at the conclusion of this bout, we will get into Arizona versus LA. And then at 3 p.m., we've got this same Texas squad versus San Diego. At 5 p.m., it is the Southside Roller Derby squad taking on Arizona. And then at 7 o'clock, our last bout of Chingadera is this Tilted Thunder squad taking on Los Angeles.
So many teams skating multiple games in a day. Make sure you guys are staying hydrated, getting some food, getting some rest. Take care of yourselves while you're enjoying all of the roller derby action this weekend, pushing yourselves, your endurance to the limit. You guys are amazing. Shout out to you. Pat yourself on the back because you're incredible.
Is the camera well challenging us to a dance-off? Are you asking for a challenge?
Challenge accepted. I see you, Shirley. Yes, that just happened. I think Shirley won.
Now, as I said earlier when I was dancing earlier for everybody up here in the announcer's nest is, am I dancing or am I a cat about to throw up a hairball?
Well, the
You
real
can't
question
tell.
is, ¿por qué no los dos, old Greg? That is the real question here.
Why can't it be both? We are ready to get back to the action. 15 more minutes to go in this bout. So far, defense has been the flavor of the day. It's 140-72, Tilted Thunder on top.
And luckily, this isn't confusing at all. We've got number 616, Craven Cadavers, skating for Seattle, and number 616, Scapegoat for Texas All-Star Army. Craven Cadavers is out as your lead jammer, making some cool hand signs over to the announcer booth as she comes by, trying to grab some points for Tilted Thunder.
Now trying to battle her way through. Craven Cadavers up to the front of the pack, and there she goes. She is out and clear.
Scapegoat trying to play some defense now with Scarlet Knockout. And a bunch of skaters going down.
Even more skaters going down. A bunch of, at least 5 skaters took a fall there. And Craven Cadavers through the pack. Looks up, there's just a few seconds left in the jam clock, so that will expire. There it goes. And it's a 10-point jam for Tilted Thunder.
Fantastic defense being played by Seattle.
So now we've got another couple of local skaters suiting up for these out-of-town teams. It is going to be Novocaine jamming for Tilted Thunder.
Skeletina for the All-Star Army. Some cheers from the crowd. We've got some Tina fans and some Nova fans in the audience. Skeletina nearly out in the front, gets held up by Baby Anarchy, who is just all over that track. Unfortunately, a little bit of momentum given to Skeletina by a shoulder check from Baby Anarchy. Skeletina uses that momentum to her advantage, and she is out. Novocaine stuck in the back.
And Skeletina now trying to finish the scoring pass, and she's able to get on by that last blocker.
Amelia Bearhart holding it down in the front, but Skeletina makes it by. Novocaine now out, coming around fast. Almost as fast as Lightning, her daughter.
And Skeletina was bumped off the track, got up to call it off. Novocaine may have been able to grab some points on the back end of that, though.
We will find out
And
shortly.
indeed, 3 points on the board for Tilted Thunder, 7 points on the board for Texas. So Novocaine able to skate through there and lessen the impact of a pretty good jam for Texas. Setting up the jam for Texas's Ruth Badger-Jukesberg.
That's exactly right. And for I believe the first time we've got number 428, Carnia Slaughter, jamming for Tilted Thunder Railbirds. Representing Seattle as she breaks out lead jammer. Ruth Badger-Jukesberg fighting with Legs Get 'em, trying to get by on the rail as 428 Carnia Slaughter shoots on through, held up by John Wayne Gay on the rail, but pushes her way out. Legs Get 'em doing some awesome blocking as well as all her awesome jamming today. Keeping that jammer in. And number 9, LaChonkla, holding Ruth Badger-Jukesberg to the rail. Carnia Slaughter getting a couple more points there. Content to let the jam clock run out.
And it's a 10-point jam for Carnia Slaughter. We are seeing on the jammer line now for Texas, that's number 42, Mostly Harmless.
Number 120, Hammond for Seattle.
And quickly along the outside, Mostly Harmless looking for an opening, and she's out and is your lead jammer for Texas, gives a fist pump to the crowd.
Hammond swept around Joliet Jane and is coming on fast.
And Mostly Harmless up to the pack, tries to get around the main clump of Tilted Thunder blockers and calls off the jam. And clomping up to the jammer line, number 25, Amelia Bearhart for Tilted Thunder.
And Skeletina, not to be intimidated, also on the jammer line. Both of them making some noise and getting ready to go.
It's a very, very Grayson Allen Duke basketball slapping the floor thing with that stomping up to the jammer line, I think.
Amelia Bearhart is just out of there real fast.
Skeletina clear of the pack as well and is now going to try to force the issue. Amelia Bearhart up into the back of John Wayne Gay at the very back of the pack, and John Wayne Gay giving up the body for the block. Good to see her back out there after having to take herself out of a jam about 7 or 8 jams ago. So she's back out there and going right back out to block again. So must be feeling all right. On the jammer line, all by our lonesome, number 247, all by their lonesome, number 247, Jose Cuervo is going to be jamming for Texas at the Power Jam here.
Believe this might be the first time we're seeing Jose Cuervo starting on the jammer line.
Starting, as I was
they
just about to say.
They took the star earlier, but ready to take this Power Jam for Texas, and they are being held up by LaChonkla, but make it past, and they are out. Lead jammer for Texas in this Power Jam.
Cheer goes up from the Texas bench of USA. There's Jose Cuervo up into the pack, and they were able to get one of the Tilted Thunder blockers kind of going towards the infield, open up a lane, and they're through on a scoring pass. 23 seconds to go here in the Texas Power Jam. And Jose Cuervo, after taking a hard head first tumble down to the infield, gets up and signals to call off the jam. It's a 10-point Power Jam for Texas. Brings their score up to 92.
Looks like we had a Power Jam trade-off, eh?
Indeed. The Power Jam pendulum swings back the other direction, as it inexorably does once every so often. Elophobia on the jammer line for the Tilted Thunder All-Stars.
Looks like Jose Cuervo picked up a couple arms penalties in that last Power Jam, giving Seattle a chance at their Power Jam of their own with Elophobia out fast, lead jammer.
So there goes Elophobia making her way around on the first scoring pass of this power jam. And Elophobia had gotten up to the front of the pack and was dealing with Scarlet Knockout and Mostly Harmless at the front end of things.
Scarlet Knockout, true to her name, knocking Elophobia out into the infield, but Elophobia resets quickly, is already back around to try and score more points. Scapegoat and Dammit Jammit trying to hold a wall in the back. Some effective offense being played by Seattle.
Just a few seconds to go here in the power jam. Elophobia finishes a scoring pass and is content to let the power jam expire. And there we are.
Got a couple of failure to reform penalties being dropped on Seattle.
How about some more power jam? Anybody else want more power jam? I'll have some more power jam. We've got Joliet Jane out there all by her lonesome. We had penalties called, at least one penalty called on Elophobia. There's the penalty board. So Joliet Jane now will be the sole jammer out there for Texas as part of the Texas Power Jam. Also a couple of blockers
yes, this is a sparse pack for
yeah, I do see
Seattle, yeah.
Texas blocker in the penalty box as well, but Seattle's just got two defenders out there for this Texas Power Jam. Joliet Jane quickly to the outside. Another tall skater using those long strides to clear the pack.
Yes, your captain for the All-Star Army, Joliet Jane, coming back around. She's a very experienced jammer. Ready to jump that coping, get some points, and come back for another scoring pass. We've got Terre Hoedown and Hammond out there by themselves doing the best they can to play some strong defense. Joliet Jane is a hard hitter herself, though. Knocks Hammond to the ground.
20 seconds to go here in the Texas Power Jam. Joliet Jane's got an outside shot at having enough time for two more passes. We'd have to see. Probably not, though. Looks like Tilted Thunder able to delay things just a little, and they get Joliet Jane routed off onto the infield, does Hammond. So Joliet Jane tries to get a hip ahead of her before the clock expires.
Hammond with some smart moves there, taking Joliet Jane to the infield and then running ahead to try to preserve her point.
And it was a 15-point power jam. 3 full scoring passes for Texas. Takes Texas up over 100 for the bout.
15 points. Good job, Texas. Skeletina, number 10-12 for the All-Star Army, and number 51 Slaughterhouse for Seattle.
Skeletina able to find a seam along the outside and quickly race to the front of the pack. Lead jammer for Texas. And now making her way around the outside, but pinned in at the last second. That last blocker for Seattle was able to get in front of her. That was again, Baby Anarchy. We've been saying her name all day long. Skeletina able to eventually get through, but they had about 15 seconds off the clock with defense there, and that made all the difference, letting Slaughterhouse get around to force the issue. So just 4 points on the board for Texas in that jam. 4 minutes and 15 seconds to go in regulation. And
got number 428, Carnia Slaughter for the Tilted Thunder Railbirds, with Ruth Badger Jukesberg back again for the Texas All-Star Army. Fighting her way to the front, being held back by Amelia Bearhart, and number 313, Hawk blocked. But she makes it through.
Able to get through is the notorious RBJ, now heading on down. Trying to turn in a supreme effort here as jammer. Now trying to push her way through, trying to find an opening is Ruth Badger Jukesberg. Taking on the blockers just like her namesake took on the patriarchy.
I love that. Got a strong wall by Tilted Thunder.
So strong wall, all 4 of them there together are linked together and not letting her get through.
Just recycling and recycling. That was Craven, Hawk blocked, Hammond, and Amelia Bearhart. Just each of them, when one was taken down, the next filling in their place and just keeping that defense strong.
So 4 points on the board for Texas, and here we are with our next jam. Under 3 minutes to go in regulation. That is Damn It, Jam It on the jammer line for Texas.
And damn it, jam it, she will. And we've got Elaphobia for Seattle.
Jam It to the front now, and she's able to emerge, and she's going to outrun that last defender to the corner, and Damn It, Jam It is your lead jammer for the Texas All-Star Army with a raucous cheer from the hometown crowd. Elaphobia out as well, half a track behind, so she'll be making tracks here trying to catch up.
Damn it, jam it, hitting the seams of those blockers, trying to get her hips around and get some points. Good jammer awareness, and is sure to call off the jam before Elaphobia can inadvertently get any points.
We've got some more hometown love on the jammer line. That is going to be jamming for the first time for Tilted Thunder, number size 9, La Chancla. And
we've seen La Chancla doing some great blocking. Let's see how excellent her jamming is. I'm excited.
And then jamming for Texas, that's Skeletina.
Who's that? I've never seen her before.
Well, there she goes. She's gone.
Too bad I never got to know her.
Skeletina pulled down. It is going to be a power jam for La Chancla and the Tilted Thunder Railbirds All-Stars.
La Chancla is jukey as anything. Just runs to the high, to the low, sneaks by. Before you know it, she's back around trying to score points for Seattle. Dodges a block by John Wayne Gay.
Now the pack gets to moving, and they spill into the back straightaway, delivered to the infield by a block from
Scarlet Knockout.
Scarlet Knockout was La Chancla. And she was routed off onto the infield again by a blocker there. That was Scapegoat right in front of us. But La Chancla given the wave around and told to go on head. So no cut track penalty for that. La Chancla this time tried to get through Scarlet Knockout again, bumping her off onto the infield. 5 seconds to go in the Tilted Thunder Power Jam. Hammond trying to open it up and let La Chancla pick up those last couple of points.
With those blockers being out of play in the front, it's kind of hard as a jammer. You end up continuing to try to push past them in those last moments just out of habit, but you actually get those points if they're out of play. Skeletina and Amelia Bearhart both letting us know they are ready to go here. Skeletina jamming for Texas with Amelia Bearhart.
Yeah, it seems like
for Tilted Thunder.
Amelia Bearhart really wants to put her stamp on this tournament.
Yes, I would say that she has. She's been doing some strong blocking and strong jamming.
Really putting her foot down. Skeletina trying to fight her way through at the back of the pack.
Ooh, that's a hard fall.
Big tumble down to the inside. We're going to take a break in the action right away. All right, and with a cheer, everybody is back up on their wheels.
Always good to see.
Looked like I believe
skaters
that was
pop back
Jose
up.
Cuervo that got the worst of it there in the corner, and they are back up and back on the bench, getting tended to by the medical staff. So we will get our bearings about us and check in, make sure we've got the score locked down. We got 12 seconds to go in regulation here, so we got time to squeeze in one more jam before it's all said and done. Score right now, Tilted Thunder 187, Texas 116. We'll get one more jam on the books here. All right, that is going to do it. Looks like that is the end of the game. We have gotten the official signal from head referees, so we're going to waive those last 12 seconds off the clock and call it a game. So your final score is Tilted Thunder 187, Texas 116. And that is going to do it for this game. We will step aside, which is Arizona versus Los Angeles, a rematch of the championship bout at last year's Battle on the Bank. So should
definitely
be a lot.
Don't want to miss this bout.
I'm going to go outside, get myself a taco, and then come back inside and watch it.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be back with you in a few minutes.
Thanks for listening today. Thanks for being here for our 3rd annual Chingadera, 2nd day of our tournament. Don't go anywhere. LA and Arizona coming up next. I'm Becca Recker. It's been nice hanging out with you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Drink water and eat food. Take care of yourself. I love you all. Goodbye.